Whether red card or penalty.
Come on, bro. It's not league on, bro. Hey, it's not league on there, bro.
It's red card or penalty in every part of football. It's red card or penalty in every part of football. These two.
Hey, VVD is not wrong there, man. That Ibu challenge wasn't a red card, and I think that I'm glad that the officiating didn't fall for it, honestly, because PSG, of course, they get their own way, right? Especially in Ligue 1, where a lot of the officiating does bend in their favor. I'm glad that that didn't happen tonight. I think in that challenge, he was losing the ball anyway. And of course, I know that Ibu, it looked like a push in the back, but it's more of both guys going for the ball. And and more so from the video, I just think VVD is just such a boss. That's the president of PSG, Luis Campos, that he's going after. And he's just saying, bro, this ain't League On. This is the Champions League, baby. So I love that. And of course, PSG are going to feel like they were unjustly done. And you could argue to a degree, yes, they were. But you also have to take into effect, and people are forgetting this, that the PSG players, they also have to actually execute, right? And this is how the game should always be, right? Nothing is given, everything is earned. And I think PSG is just so used to everything being given to them, especially in their league, that wins just are materialized even if they aren't scoring goals, right? If that makes sense. So they had to earn this tonight. And unfortunately, their forwards, they didn't do the job that they needed to do in order to kind of be victorious in this match. And of course, Alisson was outstanding today, and he was the keeper they had to get past. And honestly, it almost looked like an impossible task for them to even get past Alisson. But let's keep in mind that this Liverpool defense was really good last night, right? They were really good last night. And yes, we had a ton of chances. If you look at here, we had a ton of chances that were against us. But if you actually go back and watch that match and you look at some of the opportunities and the chances, less of them were clear cut than what the stats show, right? Almost every single one of the goals that they could have had or they were going for, they were tough shots. It was a bending shot from outside of the box. It was weak foot curler that Kvaratskhelia actually scored, but then it was offsides, of course. There was no clear-cut opportunities where PSG could feel unlucky, where it was an open net and it was skied or something like that. You know what I mean? They had to earn every single one of those shots on target. And credit to the Liverpool defense, and then even more credit to Alisson for being able to stop some of these special strikes that they had to pull off to get past this Liverpool defense. Let's be very, very clear. A lot of these chances that they were given, they had to be special strikes in order to get past this Liverpool defense. And then they had to get past an equally as special keeper, right? Let's keep that in mind. But it only takes one clip, one shot for things to change in your favor. And you just look at this, the hold-up play from Darwin Núñez here. He wins the header, and then he squares it to Harvey Elliott in the net. The rest is history. And let's not take anything from Darwin Núñez here. He does what most Liverpool players were not able to do in the first 80 minutes of the game, which is win a header, hold the ball up, and make the right decision. And I saw someone post something on Twitter yesterday. It was just like, Darwin Núñez picks the most random times to have composure, and that was one of those times. And like what we said in the video yesterday, this game had a Darwin Núñez moment written all over it, whether you like him or you don't like him. He has done some monumental things for us, not even last season, but of course this season. Not very often, but exactly when we need him. And that's the difference between, if you also go back and look at that, I'm looking at the clip again. Darwin does win the header again. Boom. He flicks it on. He lays it off. Perfectly weighted. Boom. Into the back of the net. How many of those chances did Alisson actually save on the other end that were much better struck than that chance? And Donnarumma couldn't even save the one that was on target. And I think that's the difference between a keeper like Donnarumma, who is good and was a young prodigy, versus a keeper like Alisson, who I think is the best goalkeeper to ever exist, personally. Let's be real, right? There were 5 other chances at the other end that were struck more sweetly and more perfectly but Alisson was able to stop those. Big shout out to Darwin here. Fantastic work. And the main thing that I want to bring up is really this post here. Boom. And I'm going to leave this one up here for a little bit, and I'll read it aloud as we kind of go. But the one word I always use to describe Arne Slot is pragmatic. Unlike most coaches, his willingness to sacrifice elements of his philosophy depending on the opposition is breathtaking. Today against PSG, there was a passive up. They sat in their shape with resilience, placing the emphasis on PSG to break them down. For all of the discourse surrounding PSG, they are young and naive side. He begged the question, can you come break us down? They couldn't. PSG posed the greatest transitional threat in Europe, which is facts. So Liverpool went direct, long, aiming to take advantage of the 4v4 defensive line. There was no need to play into danger with the threat that PSG have. Tactically spot on. I'm not sure how much of this is 100% true. Wait, why did I just find this photo of the team room afterwards? Bro literally is playing a low block. He absolutely meant that. Nah, Slot is a demon. This is crazy, bro. This motherfucker is dubious, bro. We have to be so thankful as Liverpool fans that we got him. We're about to be dominant for a long, long time, bro. This is insane. And 100%, if it was actual Slot's intentions, and we already know that he is special, if it is true, that takes him to a whole nother level, right? And I've said this time and time again, and I think this is the difference between Arne Slot and a lot of the rest of the managers that are coming up right now. Most managers would have pride in situations like this and try to beat you in their way and their way only. It's their way or no way, right? It's their way or they lose. You look at Ruben Amorim, you look at Mikel Arteta, you look at a lot of these other managers who want to build this philosophy similar to how Pep kind of did it. And I think the whole Pep syndrome is a little bit of a disease in football as well. And Slot kind of goes against that whole thing. Most managers would have too much pride to say, we know how good you are and what you do. We're not going to play how we want to play, which is the possession style of football that we know Slot loves. You are going to have to come and break us down. How much of that he actually believes, and obviously how ideally he would like to play, is completely different. Similar to how he was talking with the Manchester City game. He's like, this was out of necessity, not out of intention, right? Of sitting deep, letting the opposition have the ball. And you could see in some moments there in the match, Slot wanted to press the ball, but it just wasn't happening. It was hard. We were having a really hard time with the initial press. So he said, it was around the 32nd minute that he said, all right, let's sit back. Let's let them break us down. And you have to be so good and so humble. Forego what your ideas, right? And your ideological way that you want to play football, and do what's right in the moment based off of, one, roster that you have, two, the opposition that you're coming up against. And it's just humble, it's smart, and it's like what Counterpressor says, it's pragmatic. 80% of managers are coming up there and they're not doing that. 80% of managers will do that. They would rather lose 4-0 against a PSG side, try to play open football, try to play their way, try to own the ball. PSG would have tore us apart if we would have kept doing it the way that we were doing it from the 32nd minute on, and they didn't. It's their way or we lose for most of these managers. And I think Slot's greatest strength is his ability to know his opposition, know the resources that he has at hand, and formulate a way for them to win. Which is why, even though it's the same team as last year, it feels completely different from this year to last year. And I would even say it feels different from game to game, which is pretty insane. I mean, who was predicting that to bring on Endo and Elliott and Jones for Mohamed Salah, for Ryan Gravenberch, two of our best players this year, would have been the solution for that to turn the game? Who predicted that we would come to PSG and sit deep and wait for PSG to try to break us down and try to wear them out and in the last moments steal a goal? Not me. How much of this is actual Slot's intention, or if this is just how the game played out, I do not know. But I do know something very, very special is happening at this Liverpool team, and Arne Slot is at the brain of it. He just is. He's a special, special player. It's almost like he's learning and he's adapting on the fly, and even learning from other managers, because this was a Nottingham Forest-esque performance, similar to the Manchester City performance, which some people are thinking maybe the Man City performance was a dress rehearsal for this performance, because you don't let Kvaratskhelia, you don't let Barkaloa, you don't let Dembele, you don't let Doucouré, you don't let those four guys run rampant on your back line, get space, counterattack you, and take you apart and destroy you. That would be the smart thing to do, is to not even allow moments like that, right? Make those guys stay in place, make those guys figure out how to pass around you and break you down, versus use their speed, athleticism, and their youth to take you apart in transition. Masterful stuff by Arne Slot. So make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. I wanted to do this post-match, the next day, react to some of the stuff that I'm seeing online, kind of reaction. Let me know if you guys like this stuff. We have one more spot left in the Discord for a free membership. After that, it will be closed off and you'll have to become a member of the channel to get access to it. So make sure you guys join the Discord down below. I'm going to leave you guys with this. This one's a good one right here. Shout out to our samurai, Wataru Endo. You can see the fans here cheering his name. You can see Gerald Kwanzaa saying, "Bro, come on, give him some love. Show him that you appreciate the new chant." And you see that he does. Big shout out to Endo. Big shout out to those substitutes. They saved the game for us today. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are today. I love it. We march on and we go into the weekend. See you guys next time. Peace. Boom.